Let's dive into the story of Iryna Zarutska, a 23-year-old from Ukraine, whose ordinary train ride home in Charlotte, North Carolina, turned into a tragedy that stunned the nation. Just moments before it happened, she had texted her boyfriend that she'd be home soon. She never made it home. It was just before 10 p.m. when Iryna Zarutska boarded the Lynx Blue Line at Scaly Bark Station in Charlotte, North Carolina. CCTV footage shows her sitting quietly near the middle of the car, scrolling through her phone. A few seats away was DeCarlos Brown Jr., age 34. To other passengers, he looked restless, pacing, muttering, glancing around. Surveillance would later confirm he'd been making unusual movements long before the attack. He hadn't even paid for a ticket that night. At 9:50 p.m., as the train approached East-West Boulevard Station, Brown suddenly stood, pulled a pocket knife from his hoodie, and stabbed Iryna Zarutska 3 times from behind, including once in the neck. The attack lasted only seconds. Passengers screamed. The train jolted to a stop. In that chaos, Brown calmly stepped off the train, knife still in hand, and walked onto the platform. 2 minutes later, police arrested him. There were no security officers in Iryna's car, even though a team was stationed just 1 car ahead, and there was no connection between them. It was completely random. Brown had a long criminal history, at least 14 arrests over 2 decades, and had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, according to his mother. The next morning, Charlotte woke up to a headline no one expected: a young woman stabbed to death on a city train. At first, people thought it was a fight gone wrong, but when the footage went public, showing no interaction at all, outrage spread through the city. Brown wasn't just unlucky. He should never have been free. He had a long and serious criminal history. Before the fatal attack in January 2025, Brown was arrested for misuse of 911 services, calling repeatedly, claiming a man-made material was controlling him. Even then, he showed clear signs of mental distress, but the system didn't act. In January 2025, Magistrate Teresa Stokes of Mecklenburg County released Brown on a misdemeanor charge without bond, taking only his written promise to appear. After Iryna's death, lawmakers across North Carolina and members of Congress called for Stokes' removal, describing her decision as a catastrophic failure of judicial responsibility. Iryna Zarutska had come to the U.S. in 2022, fleeing the war in Ukraine with her mother, sister, and younger brother. Her father had to stay behind. Martial law barred men of his age from leaving. She was living in Huntersville, working at a pizzeria in Charlotte, while studying art and restoration. Her family later wrote an online obituary calling her a gifted and passionate artist. She was rebuilding her life piece by piece. Days later, hundreds gathered in Charlotte's South End for a candlelight vigil, holding flowers and sketches she'd made. Her friends described her as the kind of person who saw beauty in broken things. Brown was charged with first-degree murder and later federally indicted for causing death on a mass transportation system, a rare charge that could bring the death penalty. Public outrage pushed lawmakers to act. Within weeks, North Carolina passed Iryna's law. At her vigil, someone wrote on a candle, "You survived a war. You should have survived this." Her story sparked a national conversation about how bail policies, mental health failures, and media bias intersect, and why some lives only get noticed after it's too late. That's it for today. Take care of yourself. We'll meet again with another story that deserves to be heard.